Well, this is not a video I thought I'd ever make. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. My name is Crystal, and I've recently got back into Neopets. I'm not gonna lie, I think it might actually break my heart if someone watching this doesn't know Neopets, but just to be on the safe side, Neopets was an early 2000s online virtual pet game. Players could sign on, create a Neopet, which came in a variety of species and base colors, and then do all your standard virtual pet game stuff. Feeding, grooming, playing, and of course, throwing them into a battle dome. Just normal stuff. Then there were the numerous flash games to earn the website's digital currency Neopoints. This is actually kind of what brought me back after all these years. Neopets is apparently going through a bit of a transformation. From my understanding, they're under new management, and one of the big changes is the addition of Ruffle. It's a Flash emulator that allows you to play a lot of the Flash games that were lost when Flash went down in 2021, I believe it was. Some of my personal favorites are still here, including Cast Basher, where you hit a poor stuffed cache incredible distances, and then there's Carnival of Terror, where you're shooting for your life against robot clowns, and of course Crisis Courier, where you weave a UU through dangerous areas. You know, I'm actually starting to notice a bit of a trend here. Well, let's step away from the games for a bit and explore Neopia. Honestly, some of the pages on this site are like stepping through a time machine. Some have a more modern and mobile-friendly layout, but then you just stumble across this, or even worse, this. Honestly, after Flash was discontinued, I was expecting more of the site to be down, but it's really not that bad. I think maybe my favorite part of being back on Neopets is finding that others like me have done the exact same thing. On the Neo boards, I was definitely expecting cobwebs and dust, but I was pleasantly surprised. There's still a core group of players who, like me, grew up playing Neopets, and maybe they never left, or maybe they're just coming back as well, but everyone has been so incredibly friendly. So, after seeing all this, I decided to make a brand new account in 2023, and that is definitely not something I thought I'd do this year. As a kid, I always had loops for pets, but I'd like to start fresh, so I decided to create a Yerbil named Rivertall. I think he's a cutie. With my account set up and Rivertall with me, I decided to revisit some of my old favorite Neopet fan sites, including Jelly Neo. So, you know in Animal Crossing, you have your dailies, you're like talking to your villagers, you're finding fossils. Well, Neopets was actually my very first introduction to the idea of dailies. Jelly Neo has probably my favorite dailies list, and it's so neat to see it again because a lot of it is still there, and then there are even some new dailies like Trudy's Surprise. A lot of these dailies are purely luck-based, and some of them can even get you some really rare and valuable items. Not that I really have the luck for that, but I can still find this incredibly chill and just click through and see what I get. Now that my dailies are complete, time to try my hand at some of the games. Eventually, when I can hit this darn cast. It's really interesting to find things on this site that I just had no idea about as a kid. I was vaguely aware of the Neopets stock market, but I had no clue how it worked. These days, I still don't really get how it works, so I've been investing my Neopoints there. Maybe one day it'll pay off. As a kid, I always dreamed of painting a pet, and I've just realized out of context that sounds really weird. Pretty much, paintbrushes are one of the ways you can change the appearance of your Neopet. So I could paint Rivertall Fairy, for example, and he'd still be a Yerbil, but his looks would change a little bit. Paintbrushes come in many different styles and for many vastly different prices, with the cheapest currently being the Christmas paintbrush at $25,000 and the most expensive being the toy paintbrush at $12,500,000. So you can see some of these will take a while to earn. I think with a name like Rivertall, we're going to be aiming for a water paintbrush, which currently costs around 3 million Neopoints. Earning that is probably going to take me a little while, but there are other ways too. Mind you, I'd need better luck. While browsing the site, you can stumble across random events which are exactly what they sound like. Sometimes they can be bad things, and other times they can be incredibly generous. There are also a handful of dailies I can do where I might be able to find a water paintbrush, or another expensive item that I can sell to get closer to it at least. I've been in this Neopets hole for the last 3 weeks or so, so I figured I'd make a video on it. I'm very excited to see the changes coming to the site that are very much needed, but I think I'm also just enjoying the nostalgia. Now, the real question is, when was the last time you fed your Neopet? Ooh, we're trying something new here. I kind of wanted to cover my new Neopets obsession for a while, but I wasn't quite sure how. I also know I make a lot of long-form content, so I figured it was time to dabble with shorter video ideas. I hope you all enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching!